Greetings and welcome to PJ's Kitchen. My name is Peter James from peterjamesx.com with the Babylon Report. This evening we are asking the question, why did Christ have to die? When this question is asked, the immediate response is, well, he had to die because of the sins of the world. This is true, but why die? Couldn't there be another way? The answer is no. There was and could be no other way. You see, Christ prayed and asked the Father that if it were possible, that the cup that he was going to drink from be taken from him. You find that in Matthew 26:39. And he, Christ, went a little further. This is when he was in the Garden of Gethsemane with his disciples. He fell on his face and prayed, saying, O my Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as thou wilt. I believe that Christ knew that it wasn't possible. And this prayer was made to make it clear to us that it was not possible. If Christ had not said that, we would never have known that it was not possible. There's another similar related question. When Christ asked Matthew 27:46, and about the 9th hour when he was on the cross, Jesus cried with a loud voice, saying, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani. That is to say, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? Again, this was for our benefit. Christ knew that when he took on the sin of the world, that he would be forsaken by the Father. That was the whole purpose of his sacrifice. You know, he became the curse for our sins. But the question remains why. You see, if he didn't say, why have you forsaken me, we would not have known that he had actually been left by the Father. Well, to answer this question, let us go back to the very beginning, the ages prior to Adam and Eve. Right back to the foundation of the world. We have recently explained that the spirit in man was made at the same time as the foundation of the world and the stretching forth of the heavens. One of the verses, there were two verses we used, and this is one, Zechariah chapter 12 and verse 1. The burden of the word of the Lord, oops, my remote has just fallen. The burden of the word of the Lord for Israel, saith the Lord, which stretcheth forth the heavens, and layeth the foundation of the earth, and formeth the spirit of man within him. At this time, many other important events took place. The names of the spirits of men who would be overcomers were written in the book of life. We see that in Revelation 17 and verse 8. The beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit, and go into perdition, and they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names, and this is the part, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world. That is telling us that the chosen ones had their names written in the book of life at the foundation of the world. This is eons before Adam and Eve. We also see another event mentioned about the foundation of the world in Ephesians 1, chapter 1 and verse 4. According as he hath chosen us in him before the foundation of the world, that we should be holy and without blame before him in love. The following verse, verse 5, causes many great confusion because it mentions predestination, and people think that, well, if we are predestined to be lost, we're lost. If we are predestined to be saved, we are saved. So we can just live whatever life we like. No, we can't. And that's not what it's saying either. Ephesians chapter 1 and verse 5, it says, having predestinated us unto the adoption of children by Jesus Christ to himself, according to the good pleasure of his will. You see, as we have said before, Christ knows the end from the beginning. He knew how each one of us would turn out. He knew how Satan would turn out. I also keep saying that God dwells in eternity. He does not dwell in time and space. He created time and space. He can play with time and space just like we can play with a ball. He can just toss it around and do exactly what he likes with it. And similarly to the entire vast, endless universe. He names and numbers the stars. We have to get accustomed to the God we are speaking about. We will never understand him, but we can get a little idea about how marvelous and wonderful he is. You know, having named and numbered the stars, and the astronomers keep telling us that they're finding new gigantic galaxies all the time, billions and billions of times bigger than ours, and numbers we cannot comprehend. But God says he names and numbers the stars. We can't even name our children. You know, when we are naming our children, it's a major thing, isn't it? We have to go and get books, and well, we use some names somebody else has used before. God doesn't do that. In Job 9:7 it says, he commands the sun, and it riseth not, and he sealeth up the stars. Psalm 147 verse 4, he telleth the number of the stars. He calleth them by their names. That's what I said. They're numbered and named. You see, the point is that God can do something in eternity and then subsequently move it into time and space. That is why he knows the end from the beginning. Revelation 1, chapter 1 and verse 8, I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the ending, saith the Lord, which is and which was and which is to come, the Almighty. We are also told that the works were finished from the foundation of the world. We are right back into prehistory now. The same period of time. You know, in Hebrews chapter 4 and verse 3 we are told, for we which have believed do enter into rest. You know, we'd have to go into the whole Sabbath question, because the Sabbath is eternal. And we, as believers, should be enjoying the Sabbath rest now, and we will enjoy the Sabbath rest for eternity. We may scoff and scorn at it now, but this is a fact. So it says, as I have sworn in my wrath, if they shall enter into my rest. So not to be in the Sabbath rest is not a blessing, it's a curse.